good with y'all niggas, man? Do this little reaction video real quick. I saw a video on my recommended. I checked it like a couple minutes out, but not too much. Like it ain't nothing crazy. So we gonna check this thing out together. Let's get it. Oh yeah, it says also word from Miss BC the thief. It's crazy.
I want you guys to be definitively
Started up for the
is 100% true, and if at any point I say anything that may be controversial, suspect, or too good to be true, and I don't have the evidence to back it up, then call me a liar, but I guarantee you that won't happen. Ever since I was a young kid, I always wanted to be famous, and it wasn't until in 2018 of November that I knew that I wanted to be a YouTuber. Sadly, it took me 4 years to realize that I actually suck. I'm really bad. I'm super cringe, and don't worry, because I am aware of this. But I know one thing, and that one thing is I'm good at editing, and I'm great at creating ideas for others. I was meant to be off camera rather than on, and I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is being taken advantage of. I was lied to, manipulated, and thrown away like a piece of garbage. Honestly, though, sometimes I kind of think that this was pretty genius. Like, how could a person so high in status be challenged by a person like me? It's like me going to Elon Musk and saying, well, he did this and he did that, and no one would ever believe me because I'm literally just a nobody. So I have Chris Tyson to thank for allowing me to have this platform to tell my truth. February 2nd, 2024, I went snowboarding like I normally do, and I got an email in which I thought was a scam. I mean, for real, look at this. Even you would think the same thing if you got a random email saying Mr. Beast follow-up when you didn't even remember reaching out in the first place. Whether that's true or not, I certainly don't remember reaching out to him. In my line of work, I work for big name YouTubers, mostly in the sports niche, but it has its range. I've done videos for House of Highlights.
What happened though? What happened?
Nothing. I just didn't know what the heck was going on. You know I'm old now. I don't know nothing about this shit.
I'm clipping you for that.
Okay.
You
So
going
can
viral.
this dude hear me or see me?
I mean, they can hear you.
Who?
Camera.
Who?
My bad, y'all. My mom, she an old head, so she don't really know a lot about this.
Game Day, Zach TTG, Jesser, Papa Stanimus, Not So Air Jordan, and then I currently edit for MMG. Not to mention I did do the 2022 NFL playoff commercials. So it's pretty normal to have people reach out to me because they seen my work from other creators and all the other work that I've done for them. So when I got this email, I decided to give it a chance. I responded in the email and then I proceeded to post a Facebook post because I was so happy. Everything is dated, and to make sure this information is credible, it helps it set well with you. Pay attention to these days. It's not premeditated, and I obviously had no idea Chris Tyson would be such a perv, so there's no way I would make these posts in advance of like some kind of trick. I also have decided to log into my actual Facebook and show my actual email rather than screenshots, so you know that it's not photoshopped. So on February 2nd, I posted, so I got a job offer from Mr. Beast today. Video call on Monday. Wish your boy luck. Now let's go into the comments because I want you guys to be definitively sure that I didn't just make this post. 26 weeks ago, all this is 26 weeks ago, and it would take a whole bunch of time to just make up all these fake people, and then to go in their profile and see that they're friends with the same people I'm friends with, having what 62 mutual friends, and then going, you know, it's a little bit too much here, right? So none of these are faked at all. This is my actual Facebook page. So that's the post I made on February 2nd. Now, I will go to my email, but for now, I really do want to show you the post on Facebook so I don't have to keep going back and forth. So in a nutshell, before we get into all the details, Mr. Beast gave me a fake job, flew me out there to work. I worked my butt off, took all my ideas, sent me home and told me there wasn't a job available, and then proceeded to not only do that, but then to take my ideas still and then make a video. So that's what we're going to be covering here. I mean, we're talking about a billionaire here. If you know who Mr. Beast is, you know exactly what we're talking about. And I can hang up my editing tool set, whatever you want to call it, dude. All that stuff, I'm not even going to be editing for the guy. I'm going to be using my mata. I'm going to be making ideas for him to make videos. I swear to God, that's what my job is. It's not editing. And that's what I got from our meetings was, you know, Mr. Beast, Jimmy, he passes me a piece of paper that says, I blew up the world's most expensive tanks or something. And he gives me a thumbnail that has a picture of him blowing up a tank. and it's my job to make a video out of that. So that was February 8th. On February 13th is when I went to the airport. The post says, years of hard work has led me to this. My heart is pounding out of my chest. And as you can see, I'm flying to Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. And after that, take a very quick look at what I posted afterwards. February 26th, nothing about Mr. Beast. April 19th, nothing about Mr. Beast. April 25th.
Y'all really can't trust nobody out in North Carolina, to be honest. Like, nigga Mr. Beast from, oh my god.
May 3rd, May 9th, May 19th, nothing about Mr. Beast. And do you know why I didn't post anything about Mr. Beast from that time? Is because something went horribly wrong and I was way too embarrassed to tell people about it because I had made so much noise, such a fuss about me going to Mr. Beast company, and then I just got kind of screwed over. So I didn't post a single thing about that. Now, you guys are wondering, I want to see the proof. I want to see the correspondence. I want to see everything that happened between you guys. I want that information. Well, I got it. So this is the first email I ever got from a guy named Dylan. I can't say his last name, so it will be blurred out for the rest of the video because I just don't want to get out his personal PI information. So we're gonna keep it on a first name basis, and we're just gonna say Dylan. Dylan sent me an email, and it says in the subject, Mr. Beast follow-up. Hey, thanks for submitting your info to our casting team. We received your submission at this time. We're fully casted for our current videos. That's not what we want to pay attention to. What we want to pay attention to is the second paragraph. Working at Mr. Beast, we are collaborative first, and I was forward your submission. Don't know how you got it, but let's keep going. If you're interested, I would love to chat about your potential full-time or contract role work on Mr. Beast's creative team. February 2nd, 2024 that he sent me the email. It was February 3rd, 2024 that I responded to the email. I wanted to make sure after I made the post, I was like, oh crap, this actually might be a scam. Let me go back and do some research. And then the next day I was like, you know what? I feel good about this. I don't have to delete my post. So I was able to go ahead and reply to him confidently. Now this email here is my very first, I guess, direct exploration call, whatever. Basically, me being able to meet them for the very first time, like I said on my Facebook and like I said before in the email, Monday, February 5th, 2024. My second call was not only with Dylan, but now it has Dylan, Hoodie, and someone named Kara, which I have never met. I've never once met Kara, so you won't hear anything about a Kara in this video. And this took place on Wednesday, February 7th, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That was the second call. For another email also on...
Oh yeah, let me add this in, man. Y'all be careful who y'all look up to, bro. Like, I thought his videos was cool and stuff, but looking at that nigga like he an idol, or cause you just never know about people. Like these days, man, it's weird, bro. So just be careful who you hold to a certain standard, you know.
February 7th, 2024. This was directly right after the call I had with Hoodie, Dylan, and Kara. And within that conversation, they basically told me that I needed to make a prompt. And when I say prompt, let me just read the email. Hello, Ty.
Hold on. I don't think my mic was recording this whole time. It's cool though. I didn't really, cause I watched the first couple minutes anyway, so it's cool. But like I was saying though, like Mr. Beast, like I watch his videos. This if y'all didn't hear me, my mic was muted, but I watched a couple of his videos, man. Like I just know niggas looked at him like as an idol or like a figure like they could look up to. Like you gotta be careful online nowadays, y'all. Like so many weirdos. It's not just online. It's just this world. Like there's so many weirdos. Y'all can't be holding people to a certain like standard because you just never know like what type of skeletons they have in their closet. So y'all just be careful who you look up to, man. And yeah, let's get into it.
like for you to come in for a vibe check. Vibe check means you come in for a few days to see if you're good, see if you're a good worker, see, you know, people are not going to be annoyed by you, and see if they can move further on with the hiring process. If possible, we'd like for you to come in for 3 days at some point next week. I've got a recruiting coordinator, Leslie, CC'd on this email. She will help you figure out the days which you can make it and handle your travel arrangements. Now, this is the most important email of all. What they want me to do is to do 2 video prompts. Attached, you will find 2 video prompts. Pick one that inspires you the most and document and write out how you envision it. Really let your creativity flow and assume everything is possible. So in each of these prompts, one of them is the world's most dangerous trap room and the other is 24 hours to spend $1 billion. I went with the world's most dangerous trap room because spending $1 billion in 24 hours just seems kind of boring and quite frankly linear. I think I have more creativeness than that. That's just not something I want to do. And then like we mentioned before, this is Leslie sending me an email. Thanks, Ty. Are you able to fly in on Tuesday, be on office Wednesday through Friday, and fly back out on Saturday morning? Of course, I said yes, and she gave me all my travel info. So now we're gonna get into like the more just deep in the details here. So like I said, if I don't show proof, don't assume that I'm telling the truth. If I don't show proof for everything that I'm saying, assume that I'm literally lying about everything that I'm saying, okay? So in that email, it did say, I realized that the footage was kind of cloudy when it comes to OBS and recording the screen, so I will put screenshots of those messages up there. But in the email, it did say that I had those 2 prompts.
Oh yeah, OBS, bro. Fix y'all stuff, bro. He right, bro. Y'all should be tweaking sometimes.
And the 2 prompts was something about spending $1 billion in a day in 24 hours, and the other one was the world's most dangerous trap rooms. So we're taking a look right here. I have the prompt and it says the world's most dangerous trap room. And in my intro, I have PT hallway, I have the elevator, I have the Squid Games glass challenge, I have bloodthirst, and I have mole maze. And within these things in my prompt, I do have like variations. So first one, I see the variation. So right here, underneath elevator, I wrote one thing. The ultimate goal is to escape the elevator before it reaches the top floor and the bottom falls out beneath you. But I also have a second variation. Pick lock tool groove chain in the wall. Goal is the same except the elevator moves a little faster. Move the chain object lock pick tool to
he gonna have to, you know, turn it up a little.
Unlock the locks on the roof and the elevator reaches the top. So you ever play those games where it's like a little plastic thing and has grooves all over? It's like a maze and you got to move that ball through. Well, essentially that's what I did for this video, except you're chained to the thing and you got to move the ball through the grooves with the key that has a key on it so you can reach one lock. And there's locks on each 4 corners of the elevator. So when you get this lock, now you got to go through the maze again. And now you got to go and take this lock out and like that so you can escape the elevator. If you don't, the whole thing just plummets to the ground. I thought that was a pretty dope idea, right? So I did that, but I also made 2 of them because I wanted to make a variation of it. So also here in Squid Games, that was another thing. I made a different variation of what was already done, and I did that. That was part of my pitch. Now, well, let's keep going down because I think it's somewhere around. I think actually no, it's the Squid Games one right here. In the second variation of the Squid Games, I say Mario style. Floating obstacle course. Instead of using floating blocks, which is impossible, we will use floating rack hoisted by 4 cranes. Floating rack hoisted 200 feet in the air. Each section of the obstacle course will change depending on the distance made. Start from one platform to another to advance. Safety harness will be eliminated due to the net under.
My fault, y'all. I gotta check something real quick.
Underneath the platform. Now with that, so we have an idea that I wanted to do. So I want to talk a little bit more about my experience of being at the Mr. Beast warehouse. I've never once personally ever signed an NDA. In all my emails and all my correspondences and all my text messages, I have never once ever signed an NDA. But what I think what they're doing, there is an iPad as soon as you get to the warehouse, as soon as you walk in, and you have to sign in. And they ask you things like your first name, last name, email address, all that, phone number and stuff like that. And I have a very, very, very high suspicion that when you sign your name in there and you sign in, I think you're also signing an NDA. They don't come out and say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. That's just something that I think. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying I'm thinking.
Nigga, that's crazy. That should be illegal, matter of fact. Hold on.
Because I don't want to get sued by them because I'm like I said earlier, I'm a nobody. Anyways, I get to the warehouse and they have multiple different like studios as in workshops where you work at, creative, thumbnail, editing, ideation, all these things, right? So they take me to, for legal purposes, I will say, for legal reasons, I will say Studio One. Studio One of Creative. I go to Studio One, you know, whatever, it's all right. We're working on the video. We're doing the, in 10 minutes, like actual 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, this video explodes. And I mean, this building explodes. I worked on that for a little bit. Wasn't really feeling it. Wasn't really my jam. We went out. I will put a little video up here of me working on like a little laser challenge for that. Wasn't really my jam. Wasn't really that good at all either anyway, just if I'm being honest. So I went to the next one. And by the way, I'm sorry, I'm skipping all over the place. This was actually the second day of me being there, because the first day I spent my entire day in my hotel, which was boring, but for whatever reasons I couldn't go in the first day, so I spent the first day in my hotel. The second day is when I would start, you know, going to these workshops. On the third day I was told to go in the first day.
You're good to go to your hotel and relax for tomorrow. If you want to come, you know, at 1 p.m. tomorrow, I'll have you sit with one of other production teams. Thanks, Leslie. Also thank you both for this opportunity. I'm excited to learn and be around so many powerful thinkers. Today was nuts in a good way. Hello, good night.
So I spent the first day in my hotel. The second day is when I would start, you know, going to these workshops. On the third day, I was told to go to a different studio. We'll say Studio 2. And I'm working on a video. And the video is, what was the video's name? It was another one that had nothing to do with anything. Anyways, I go through the whole day, or well, I say a good portion of the day, about 5 hours. So around like 2:00 p.m., there's a guy named Hoodie. Hoodie, it was also in one of the emails earlier, and he's like, and when it comes to chain of command, I think he's third in chain of command total. So you have Mr. Beast, you have Tyler, you have Jackson the Head Writer, and then you have Hoodie. And Hoodie was in charge of all these things. I actually had my vibe check call with Hoodie. I had my second call with Hoodie. I was in contact with Hoodie and Leslie, the coordinator, if you remember that. And everything was going through Hoodie. The guy's a great guy. He's a great guy. He took care of me. He really like gave me great information, great feedback. So as I'm going through this video, I want you guys to remember, I'm not attacking these people. I'm attacking the company, because whatever happens in the company is a reflection of Mr. Beast. It's not a reflection of the people who are doing the things like what they're doing. Your company is a reflection of what happens. It doesn't matter who does it. If your company is ran that way, it is a reflection of you. You gotta take responsibility here. So I do my pitch, and Hoodie says, you know what? I want you to go shadow some people for the rest of the day. I want you to go work with this team and see how you can contribute to them. So let's break down the positions in the Mr. Beast company. You have C1. C1 is the head person of that department. So if you're in creative, you're C1. So creative, Studio 1, C1. So there's creative Studio 2, there's a C1 for that. Creative Studio 3, there's a C1 for that. Then ideation, Studio 1, C1. Ideation, Studio 2, same thing. They're just levels. They're just like the head honcho of that department. And then within that, you also have a C2 and a C3. I assume C2 is like the person who are in between. And I know C3 is like the bitch of the company. They just write notes. They don't do anything. They just write notes. Whatever is said, they take notes. They take minutes and they write everything. They're like the grunts of that department. I went to this new room that Hoodie told me to go to, and there was 3 positions. Well, there was 2 positions at the time. I don't know where the third one's at. There was only a C3 and then a C2. I mean, a C1. The C1's name was C. The C3, I mean, I talked to him for like 30 seconds. I don't know what his name was. And we were working on a video. We're working on a video called The World's Most Dangerous Obstacle Course. Now we are getting to the part where you finally can understand why I'm so mad, so upset that I got scammed. I got absolutely scammed by the biggest YouTuber in the entire world. This is where you're gonna find out why I was upset. Now it's gonna come full circle. I'm gonna have to tell you everything. We're working on the video, World's Most Dangerous Obstacle Course, and I want to show some videos and proof of what I did. From here on out, I'm gonna start speaking more theoretically so I don't get sued. So there may or may not have walls in the Mr. Beast studio where they're all dry erase marker, where you can just write anything. So if you have an idea, like, oh crap, I don't want to forget it, right on the wall. This is a picture of my pitch that I wrote. So you see right here, you get really close. Bloodthirst. Let's see. Elevator. Let's even get close. Glass challenge right here. PT hallway. Sound familiar? It's my prompt. So this is what I pitched to Hoodie. This is what I pitched to Hoodie. And I didn't put my variations in there. I just put the ones that I wanted, and I verbally said my variations just in case they didn't like my original ones. This is the world's most dangerous obstacle course. So C1 has been working on this with me and the other guy, I don't know his name, and we're working on, like, as you can see, the intro, the hook, the money mechanic. Right here, we're looking at, this is the most important part, it's just rooms. When I saw rooms, when we were brainstorming rooms, I'm like, dang, okay, rooms. I just did a prompt on the world's dangerous trap rooms. This is perfect. I can do this. It doesn't exactly follow the obstacle course, so I can kind of use my room idea with this. I mean, if you look at these ideas, whatever, it doesn't matter. The one thing that I'm looking at the most is all the way at the bottom. It looks like it says Marlo, but it says Mario. Mario is my was my idea. I'm inspired by Mario because my kids love the Mario movie. They love it so much they named my dog Mario. Hold on. Mario, come here. Good boy. This is Mario, my dog. Living proof that my kids named my dog Mario because they love the movie Mario so much. So I was inspired by that. And I think I put that in my prompt as well. If anyone's ever seen Mario, they have the floating blocks. And I wanted to see how I can make an obstacle course with those floating blocks. I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it and I realized it's just impossible to make floating blocks in the air. I don't know how you would do it. Logistically, it's just not gonna work, and physically, I don't think it would work either. So I came up with the idea with the trellis net, or I came up with the idea with the truss. Taking a look at this picture right here. So this was my idea here. I wanted to make an obstacle course in the air, but like somehow incorporate it with the Mario idea. Somehow just, I don't know, somehow do that. This is a picture that I drew for this idea. And I realized that, you know what, I couldn't do the floating blocks, so I wanted to make sure I can do it another way. So I had an idea of a truss with 4 cranes holding it up, and I wanted to be able to go across it. That was just the first section of it. Because if you look a little bit more to the right of this picture, there's like a helicopter and a guy hanging from a ladder, and there's platforms down here, 1, 2, and 3. There's platforms right there. That was just the first section of it. I wanted the intro of the video to be something so outlandish, so crazy that a viewer had to keep watching. I did steal the no net at the bottom. I call it a net, or no, not no net, a net down there. That's why it says a net down there, because it's just a joke that we thought was funny. But I did steal that from one of the other Mac videos. I just figured, why not? It makes it such much of a better video. So I pitched this idea, and they absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. The only person who didn't like it was C1, because it wasn't her idea. So when it came down to our meeting later that day, so we were there for hours and hours and hours, and like I said, there's a hierarchy. There's Mr. Beast, Tyler, Jackson, the head writer, and Hoodie. Well, Jackson comes down there and we're having a meeting at 9 o'clock at night. The meeting goes all the way to midnight, and then they say at the very end, we're gonna need all hands on deck on this. We're gonna need the help. We're gonna need the creativity. We need everyone to pull their weight. Does anyone have anything that's gonna help us, with this? And I told them my idea. I brought up every single thing, not only just this idea, but the rest of the video. They loved it. The budget was originally $1.7 million. That intro alone cost $1.7 million. Just the intro alone. And the reason why I didn't want to bring it up immediately was only because if the budget was $1.7 million and I'm here to prove myself, I can't start with going by over budget. Say, well, it would work, because who they're going to trust? You're going to trust someone who works there for months, or weeks, years, or you're going to trust some guy like me that just flew here a couple of days ago. So it was a little risky, but they loved it. We stayed to midnight. They freaking loved it. I got a pat in the back. Jackson was excited. Hoodie was excited. The only person who wasn't excited was a C1 that I kind of stepped over, because like they say in the company, it don't matter if you're C1, C2, C3. C3 can be a C2. C2 can be a C1. C1 can be a C3 by tomorrow. All right, so at this point, I've pitched my idea. They love it. They've set a date. They set a location, and now they have a new renewed budget for this video, and everything's great. I'm so happy. I text all my friends. I call everyone. I'm like, yeah, dude. And also, so after all that, I'm feeling great. I got a verbal confirmation that I was good to go. Everything was perfect. I know about everything was literally perfect until I got home. And that's when everything started to happen. Unfortunately, we have decided not to move forward with your candidacy at this time. We really appreciate you coming out and vibing with us. We would consider you for a role like this in the future, but timing isn't quite right. And the rest are about receipts. So at first I was like, you know what? Maybe that's true. But then I started to think about it a little bit more. And I didn't want to let it bother me. So I said, hey Dylan, that's a bummer to hear, but I appreciate the opportunity. Maybe another time, like you said. Candidly, may I ask if I presented myself poorly or rubbed the crew wrongly in any way? Talk about here, because I know I did. Also, I sent my receipts, and I was just talking about my dog, because I spent like $400 for my dog to be boarded. Sent all that information. He said, hello Ty, you did not rub anyone the wrong way or present yourself poorly. We're going through some reorganization with the team and are limited on roles we have open for teams. I appreciate you sending a receipt, blah, 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 whatever. This is where I started to say, but I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything at all. Not a single word until I saw this on Twitter. Just uploaded the most insane video we've ever done. Go watch. Take a look at this picture. Take a good, hard look at this picture. Does that remind you of anything you've seen so far? Does it remind you of anything you've seen remotely close to it? Or does it look like the exact same thing that I drew? The exact same thing that I pitched? Everything. Do you want to know how much I got paid for that? Zero. I didn't get paid a single dime. This man, this company, his employees not only took the time to exploit me, to have me work for them under the false pretenses of a job that wasn't, that they weren't available or able to give at the time, yet they had many people go in and out. On my second day, there was like a different group that I saw the day before, and then they were on their last day, and then on my last day, there was a group of people that was their first day. You're trying to tell me you didn't have any positions at all, yet you had all those people, and not only did you do that, you used my idea. A lot of people would say, you know what, legally he had the right to do that. I don't know in what legal standpoint he could. I could be wrong, but let's think about this though. We're talking about a billionaire. We're talking about the world's biggest YouTuber. How is that so hard to just compensate for someone for some work? How hard is it to compensate someone for their ideas that make you millions and made me zero? I don't care if it was legally done or not. Like, think about it. We all have hearts here. We're all watching YouTube videos for the same exact reason. How messed up is that? You're a billionaire, dude. It's not like it's some guy on the street, or you're some guy on the street. You're a billionaire, man. Pay people for their ideas. Don't just fly them out there, take their ideas, and send them home. You're giving these people false.
Pay people for their work. Know your worth, man.
Pope. You're taking their dreams from them. You're taking everything that's about them, their creativeness, their fucking imagination. I'm sorry, I'm actually getting worked up right now. You can't do that to people. You can't do that to people. And on top of that, with everything going in the media, it just kind of shows his true colors. It shows the true nature, your character of who you are. This ain't it, man. This seriously is not it. This is just part 1 because I believe part 2 will shock you, and I don't want to get to the point where I have to do part 2 and I really have to expose a lot of things that might get me sued. So I'm working on something right now. I know this may sound really crazy because, you know, I'm asking for money, and that's basically what I'm doing with Mr. Beast. I want him to pay me. He owes me this money. He owes me this. He can't, like, you can't just keep doing this to people. You can't do this. So I'm asking you guys, if you believe everything that I've said, there's without a doubt in your mind, you're like, you know what? I like the proof. I like what I saw. I want to help this guy out. Please help me out. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe. We work too hard to be stomped on by these guys, to be trampled by these people in power. And who's the one that benefits from it? Think about it. Who's benefiting from this? Me or Mr. Beast? It ain't me. So please support your boy, and let's just hope I don't have to do a part 2. I am, though. I actually am. I have so much more proof to go to. I have text messages. I have everything. Let's do it.
Drop that part 2, man. That was a good video. What the comments saying? This is crazy, I ain't gonna lie. Make sure y'all hit that like.